It already feels like the page has turned quietly, cleanly like a door closing without the slam. LeBron didn't storm out in July. He chose the most surgical lever in the book. He exercised the $52.6 million player option, kept his no-trade clause, and left the season itself to do the talking. That's not the blockbuster exit we're used to seeing from all-time greats. It's subtler, almost corporate. And that's exactly why the ending, if it comes, won't look like anything we've seen from a Laker of his magnitude. This is a chessboard where every square is labeled control, 1 year of commitment, total veto power, and a front office that pivoted from fireworks to structure with 2 moves that whisper intent. Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton. The surface headline says stability. The fine print says choose your timing. Before we dig in, do something for the room. Drop your first Laker memory, Showtime's Baby Hook, .4 in San Antonio, Kobe to Poe in 2010, Bubble Confetti in 2020, and hit follow so this community stays honest when the standings get loud. Let's be grown-ups and unpack the logic. By opting in, LeBron preserved his leverage on 2 fronts. First, money. He wasn't going to take the minimum, and nobody at his stature should. Second, control. When you hold a no-trade clause, you cannot be moved without your yes. That means any exit is curated, not chaotic. Meanwhile, the roster build is a message in plain English. Smart is a locker room thermostat and a point-of-attack bulldog. He fights over screens, talks on defense, organizes the huddle, and plays with an edge you can hear from the second row. Ayton at this stage gives you vertical spacing, soft hands, and a reliable catch on the short roll. His job isn't to be a 20-10 savior. It's to be a runway for half-court scoring that isn't just give it to the star and pray. We should define a couple things without drowning in jargon. Drop coverage is simply your big backpedaling to protect the rim while the guard fights over the screen up top. With Smart on top of the play, you can drop less deep or even switch selectively, which keeps your weak side wings glued to shooters. Pair that with a steady diet of Spain pick and roll, a back screen on the rolling big. Then a pop, and suddenly LeBron's reads simplify. Hit the slip, fire to the corner, or punish the switch by getting downhill. That's adult, low-turnover basketball. It stretches possessions and conserves legs. When you're talking about a 40-year-old engine who still bends gravity, every breath you save in December becomes oxygen and may. Now the rumor revealed at mid-script by design, because that's where it belongs. The growing buzz around. The league points to a conditional path. If the Lakers sit outside the top 4 by mid-January, and the offense remains too heliocentric, translation, too much LeBron, not enough flow, his camp could float a very short list of destinations for a consent-only deadline move. Cleveland is the romantic pick, with good reason. That roster is defense first, with guards who bend coverage and finish plays. It wouldn't require a 40-minute superhero every night. New York and one other East contender always pop up because TV loves big markets, and the narrative writes itself. But strip off the logos, and the architecture is what matters. No trade clause equals one hand on the wheel. The Lakers recoup something, a future pick, swap flexibility, or real cap relief. And the X is framed as mutual respect, not a tabloid. Divorce. This isn't bluster. It's a reasonable hedge made possible by the option he chose. And it lands in a locker room that just traded volatility for predictability. Smart's value isn't only his defense. It's the way he lowers your oh-no possessions. Ayton's value isn't only lobs. It's the way his rim runs force. The weak side tag, freeing the corner shooter and stress-testing help schemes over a 7-game series. Add a bigger wing who can stay attached on switches and make a corner 3. And suddenly, the Lakers have a regular season machine that can live at 104 possessions instead of 110 and still beat good teams. That's the plan. Raise the floor. Keep the powder dry. Trust that a healthy spring LeBron still tilts a series. But leverage cuts both ways. LeBron didn't sign a fresh long extension. He didn't slam the door on retirement chatter. He left himself an exit lane that stays invisible until the standings painted in bright yellow. A loud TV voice spent June urging him to ask out and go chase Ring 5 in Ohio. A calmer account reminded everyone he already had the chance to leave cleanly and chose not to, specifically because he wasn't handing back leverage or signing for pennies. Read that again. Choosing to stay while guarding your options is its own kind of pressure. It tells the front office, I'm here to win. Show me you're here to help me win. Context rounds it out. Remember 2019, when a chunk of this fan base wanted the double-star galaxy? The Lakers chased, pivoted, and ended up with a banner while the hallway neighbors collected moments, but not the parade. Little history lessons like that explain why the front office went structure, not splash, this time. Older fans know the shape. The best Laker teams blend stars with adults who do their job. The Showtime units had Michael Cooper's discipline. The Kobe Pro groups had Derek Fisher's spine and Lamar Odom's glue. The bubble run thrived because role players understood where the next pass was going. That's the signal Smart and Ayton send. The on-court test arrives fast. Can Smart stop the leak at the point of attack against the West quick guards? So Anthony Davis isn't in constant emergency rotations that tax his legs? Can Ayton sprint both ends without needing 15 touches to stay engaged? Can the wing shooters hit enough volume so that a late clock LeBron possession is plan B, not plan a three? And most importantly, can the coaching staff steal 4 minutes a half for LeBron without hemorrhaging points? Because that's how you buy April legs in November. Those questions will tell you if the pencil line through February gets erased or darkened. There's a human layer here for the 50-plus crowd that watched legends choose their runway. Kareem got a farewell that felt ceremonial, not frantic. Kobe stayed and authored a final night we'll talk about forever. LeBron's version, if it comes, won't be a sudden July bomb. It'll be a composed midseason handshake to a destination. He approves with the Lakers protected on the back end. That's new. That's the you've never seen it part. And it exists because he kept every ounce of control when he opted in. Let's deepen the basketball before the emotions take the wheel. The front office didn't pivot to Marcus Smart and DeAndre Ayton because it got bored of star hunting. It pivoted because the film kept screaming the same truths over 2 springs. The ball reached the paint too easily. The weak side stun arrived. A beat late, and the half-court offense leaned too hard on LeBron's batteries when the math got tight. Smart changes the way your first line of defense feels. He's a tone setter who drags teammates to their spots the way Derek Fisher used, to clap his hands and bend time in the last 2 minutes. Ayton is a system piece with upside. As a roller, his gravity forces help to take 1 step too many, creating that open corner 3 your dad yells for at the TV. Put those together and the Lakers can throttle down the pace by a hair and still win the possession game. Picture the early clock menu. You start with a drag screen to force a soft switch. Flow into Spain action with Smart back screening Ayton's man. Ayton slips, Smart pops, the backside corner lifts then drops. If the tag comes, it's a corner. 3. If they switch late, LeBron goes downhill into the chest of a big who doesn't want to be stranded. If they blitz, you hit the short roll and let Ayton play a 2-on-1 with the dunker spot. None of this asks LeBron to be 2016 LeBron for 40 minutes. It asks him to be 2025 LeBron for 32, with 8 minutes spent as the conductor more than the locomotive. That's how you bank legs without sacrificing seeds. Minute management is the quiet hinge. The coaching staff has to buy LeBron 4 to 6 rest minutes that don't flip a lead into a deficit. That means Smart must run the second unit like a floor general, not a heat check guard. It means Ayton must be content to rim run and crash, even when the ball doesn't find him for 2 or 3 trips. It means the wings, whichever 2 survive the rotation squeeze, must defend the corner without overhelping and be ready to shoot on the catch. Older fans know the champions weren't the teams that hunted highlights. They were the ones that stole minutes in March so their stars could steal games in May. Now let's put emotion back in. Because you can't tell a LeBron story without legacy. He's entering year 23 with the same target, Ring 5. He didn't dial up a farewell press conference. He didn't ink a new extension that locks him in for multiple seasons. He chose a one-year runway with a no-trade clause, a dual-track approach that gives him the right to stay and finish the book here or author a final chapter somewhere he trusts without public drama. It's the rare situation where keeping options open is not a cliche. It's a weapon. And it fits Lakers history more than people admit. The franchise knows how to do ceremony. The fans know how to honor a legend without begging for a miracle every night. If the season blooms, he gets to ride that wave and maybe write the ending in downtown Los Angeles. If the season stalls, he gets to pick a February landing that turns into June basketball and a July parade. With the Lakers keeping a future chip in the drawer, there's a twist that matters for the 50-plus crowd who lived the 2019 summer watch. Back then, the city begged the front office to land another megastar. It didn't happen. The next year, the team hung a banner anyway. Across town, the fireworks came with fragments. Injuries, missed stretches, flashes instead of closures. That history lesson is humming under everything right now. Splash doesn't age as well as structure. This summer's choices say the organization would rather be good every night than loud on one night. And that's exactly the environment where no trade clause has meaning you earn the right to decide, not react. So what does the decision tree look like? Clean, simple, pragmatic. Scenario A, hot start, top 4 pace by Christmas. Smart is healthy and mean. Aiden's motor hums, and the wings hit enough to keep the math honest. In that world, LeBron's quiet exit narrative cools. The clause becomes a shield instead of a doorway, and the front office shops for a marginal upgrade rather than a seismic move. Scenario B, middling start, 5 to 6 seed traffic. Offense. Sticks after the first action. That's where the room splits. One camp says push the chips. Add a mid-tier wing who can guard up a position, eat some tax, and trust that a fresh LeBron in April still breaks series. The other camp says respect the lever he preserved. If his list is 2 teams long, and one of them gives him a cleaner lane to Ring 5, without compromising the franchise's next 5 years, open the door with gratitude and get assets back. Scenario C, sluggish, injury stacking, defense middle of the pack, late game offense heavy and predictable. That's the world where the curated, consent-only February move becomes the adult choice for everyone involved. Let's talk risk because grown men don't flinch from it. Smart's health has to be managed. The guard who plays like a linebacker also lands like one. Aiton's engagement has to be built and protected. Some bigs need the touch to run. Others run to get the touch. He has to be the second kind. The wing rotation can't wobble. When you switch, you have to finish the possession by ending the play on the glass. And yes, LeBron's legs are the most irreplaceable variable. If he's bouncy, this team looks different in the final 4 minutes. If he's managing pain, you need more structure than Stardust. Now, the rumor lane again, but more surgical. The no-trade clause isn't a threat. It's a filter. If he uses it, the list will be short and the basketball fit will be the first line, not the headline. Cleveland will always make narrative sense. Defense, creation at the guard spots, and a crowd that understands how to savor a legend. New York will always make television sense. Bright lights, switchable pieces, room to share the ball. An East contender with shooting and rim protection will always make tactical sense. The deal math isn't rocket science. Expiring contracts, a non-core rotation piece, and a future pick or swap that allows LA to keep building around its remaining cornerstone. He would only approve a package that leaves the destination strong, enough to justify the move. The Lakers would only agree to a package that respects the jersey and the next era. That's why this would be an exit you haven't seen before. It's not an explosion. It's an orchestration. What should we watch, possession to predict the curve before the headlines catch up? How quickly Smart flattens the point of attack without fouling. Whether Aiton's first 3 runs per quarter are violent sprint, seal, rebound, or casual. The percentage of empty corner pick and rolls where the corner man actually lifts on time, so the tagger has to think for a half second longer. LeBron's second jump rebounds. When he has them, he owns the tempo in ways that don't show up until the last 5 minutes. And rotations. Do the coaches steal late third rests and buy back mid-fourth bursts? Or do we see the old pattern of long early stints and tired legs in clutch? Let's layer memory, because the 50-plus heart beats at this tempo. You remember how the building sounded when Fisher hit point 4. You remember how Compo looked with a double team on his hip. You remember how the bubble games felt like a chess match every possession. That's the model this team is trying to echo. Pride on defense, patience on offense, and a star who chooses his moments with scalpel precision. If the model sticks, the farewell doesn't happen. If the model phrase, the farewell isn't chaos. It's permission, planning, and gratitude. Your turn to set the tone for this channel. If by late January the Lakers have a puncher's chance at a top 4 seed, do you want the front office to spend a future chip on shooting and size to make this the run, or do you want them to hold the line, protect the picks, and trust that the clause will only be used if the basketball case is ironclad? Answer like it's a one-possession game, and you're choosing the coverage switch everything. Or keep the big at the level. This is our huddle. Talk to me.